Today we're going to work on the skin faces, skin tone. We'll start with the hands, with the face and hands, so any skin tone. I have here burnt sienna, yellow ochre, burnt umber for shadows, and white for highlights. So it's going to be very simple. We're not going into detail for the faces. I'm going to zoom in. Right. All right. I have a round, small brush. Actually, maybe this one. Or another one that's small enough for detail. These are the same. Just gonna get another one.
They have enough small brushes to open up a brush for.
Ah, yeah, we need those small brushes. So this is a round small brush. I mean, now it looks big, but it's actually a small brush. It's number 1.
Oh, a flat one. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, a round one that's easy and it's in a good condition, so you can go around and put some detail. Not detail, light and dark. All right, so first thing, I'm gonna take Winsor & Newton. This is Winsor & Newton burnt sienna. It's more orangey and transparent than the Liquitex one. I'm going to put a bit of yellow ochre in it to offset the orange in there. And I'm going to take white, slowly add the white in. That gives me a good skin tone, not too light, because I want something I can highlight and darken. So I'm using a mid-tone kind of skin tone. What I'm going to do is take burnt umber, use a bit of burnt umber here with part, not the whole thing, part of it. And I'm going to start putting this burnt umber on the skin tone, which is a bit darker. A little bit out, tiny bit out. Without, if it's too hard to do, to put a hint of a nose, don't worry about it. Leave it. Just kind of do a kind of like a mask. Don't worry about detail. I'm going to put it on all of the faces I see. Let it dry, and then I will highlight. And where it's dark, I'm going to leave it dark. I'm going to show you in a minute what I mean. Thank God they're wearing long sleeve. So I don't have to worry about it. All right, any other? Any more skin tone? Well, there, his hand is on the table. I'm gonna ignore this one. I'm not gonna do this. It's too tiny. There's no need. I think that's it. Okay. Let's let it dry. I'll pause recording and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll come back and put some highlights. All right, let's highlight. So same idea. We're gonna mix a batch of skin tone, medium tone. Let's take white, add it slowly. This is a good mid-tone. And now I'm going to add a little bit more white in here. So the more white you add, the more skin tone it will look, you know, like more realistic. Now we know that there is a strong, and you see when I'm mixing, I always add highlights or darks to not the whole batch, right? Half of it usually it stays the same because I need to compare if I want to change, to remix. Okay, so now let's come here, and this is going to be, actually, let's not go to a strong highlight, a very like, you know, strong white, kind of medium, because it's going to dry darker, and this will allow me to add more highlights if I want. But if I go too light, it's going to be harder to highlight. So light is coming this way, hitting the faces of these people here. And because he's bending his head down a bit, not much, actually this one he doesn't, but I can see that the light is up here. I'm going to wipe my brush because this is a lot of paint right here. Don't go all the way down. Now, with the same, before I do anything, because that will allow, I can figure out where the rest of the highlights are. I'm going to do the nose, and it's going to be like this. Just a line on an angle, not too long. That is a nose.
It's like a mask.
Right now, yes.
Yes, yes.
Right? Now,
yeah.
Now I'm going to leave where the eyes are dark, right? Don't highlight the eyes. I'm going to highlight the cheekbone right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to highlight anything that you know, catches light. Bring it out a little bit like this. Now I'm going to spread down or take a tiny bit of brown, put it in the mid-tone, tiny bit of brown into the mid-tone, and then paint this part darker, because what I'm trying to do is I want to show, I don't want to show detail, but I want to show a face. So I'm using, to show a face, I'm using a hint of a face. I'm using actually the shadows and highlights instead of features, instead of actual features like eyes and nose, and you know, I'm just using the shadows. Now, this guy doesn't have to look like a, you know, it's just as long as he looks like a person, kind of, it's fine. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of, attempt and maybe attempt a hint of a mouth. and it's burnt umber. That's what I'm using. It's not dark. It's kind of a hint, burnt umber, more like a glaze hint. So it's not heavy, dark paint. And you'll see in a minute. It looks like right now, it looks funny. So I have kind of where the mouth is. I'm going to go back to the highlight, and I'm just going to adjust from upper part, the highlight. And then all of a sudden, I have kind of a mouth. Okay, let's bring in the nose a bit like this, wider. And actually, remove this line. So I have eyes, mouth, this one here is the one that is going to take a little bit of work because you can see this person. Now, once I do the hair of the person behind him, I can adjust the nose a bit, like curve it a bit in. But right now, I'm going to leave it just the way it is. He needs a nose job, but who cares? It's fine. Looks like a person. Now, I'm going to keep his back or his neck dark. The person behind him, next to him, not behind him, next to him, is right here. So we have the hair, and I'm going to, while I'm doing the hair, it's brown, just burnt umber. I'm going to reshape the nose. So I'm doing negative painting, reshape the nose of the guy sitting in front a little bit. Push it in right here. Okay, that's better. So I have kind of a smaller nose than before. And let's do that. So I'm doing right now, what I'm doing is kind of adjusting. I'm adjusting the face using different values of the skin tone because acrylic dries darker, so I need to be careful here and go back and adjust the value. This is like it's drying really dark, so we don't want that. Let's take brown, mix it with skin tone, and make it into more like a glaze, so it's not harsh. That's good. Okay. I'm going to pause, but before I do this, I'll do the hand, and then I'll pause. Hand is just kind of like this. Then we don't need to do anything else. We just don't need to show fingers. It's too far away. Just highlight, adjust the highlight, highlighting the tip right there on an angle. And then I'm going to go in with medium tone because this is really dark right there. Medium and push. There's a strong highlight right because of the sun. Right here. You can see it in the reference. Like this. So I go back and forth usually, and I wait for the I wait for the colors to dry because it's going to dry darker. Then I can gauge and adjust the light and dark and the values. Okay, I'm going to stop for now, and then we'll come back and do the rest. All right, let's do the one next, this one here. I am going to take the same idea. This guy here, I can see that his face, let me go a little bit darker because I'm really kind of careful when I start highlighting, not to highlight with white right away because then I'm stuck. So this guy here, all right, so the same thing, he has highlights on his forehead. Then I can see I'm going to leave where the eyes are, and I'm going to highlight the cheekbone again, down right there, like this, like a triangle. I'm going to take the nose and do this. And yes, it does look like a mask right now. Again, right next to there, you can see both eyes. So right next to that, there's like the other cheekbone, but it's narrower, way narrower. Okay. Now, I am going to highlight upper lip. And actually kind of highlight the chin. So I'm leaving where the mouth is, darker. Okay, I just needed to put the mouth back because I took a chunk of it out. Now, again, let's go back. Cheekbone, cheekbone, nose, forehead, a little bit of the I just said it and now I can't remember. What is it called? Chin. 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 Jeez. All right. Let's go back. And nose, usually. Nose. A nose will cast a shadow over the upper lip. So the bottom of the nose is dark. And the and it's casting a shadow over the upper lip. Kind of like connected, these two. Upper lip and bottom of the nose are darker. Especially in a case like this where it's sunny. Now I'm going to go in with mid-tone that's not too light because, you know, it's the side of the face, and I'm going to go like that. And all of a sudden, I have a face. A mouth, actually, I should say. A mouth. The chin is a bit too low, too big. I can push it up with shadow, burnt umber, mixed into the skin tone. And let's kind of give this face still too big. That's better.
He looks kind of handsome.
Kind of.
Yeah.
We're trying. The only thing is bothering me is that his face is bigger than this one here. Way bigger.
Way bigger, yeah.
Yeah, right? So that's the only thing that's bothering me. I might redo it and make it smaller.
I'm redoing mine and making it smaller.
Smaller?
Big, yeah. It's too big.
All right. We can do that. Let's try. I mixed the skin tone again. I'm adding burnt umber, and I'm just going to go in and redo it. This is burnt, I'm sorry, this is, ultramarine blue, and I'll show you why I'm using ultramarine blue. I'm going to take burnt umber, mix it with a bit of ultramarine blue. That will give me a really dark color. It's almost like black, but just because I don't want to use black. I just want to have a really dark brown. So this is perfect, because if I do this, it's going to be really strong, but that's okay. I will adjust it later on. But if I can see kind of a little bit the size of the face, then right there. So I'm isolating the face with some darker color around it so I can looks like a woman now. That's fine. Let's make her a woman.
They'll never know she's in the background anyway. Put a big bone in here.
I know what I do.
Yeah.
She looks like a woman. That's fine. Woman is fine. Doesn't have to be a man. Okay, there we go. Whatever I get, I'm gonna go with it. All right.
That's better, just making the face smaller.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And he doesn't have an ear that we have, or she doesn't have an ear we have to worry about.
Right. Yes. All right. Let's do a bit higher forehead. Start highlighting again. I'm highlighting the forehead with a mid-tone. Just because, you know, again, I'm careful. I just want to get the features first by highlighting. Nose. Cheekbone. So I'm leaving where the eyes are. And again, another little bit of highlight for the other cheekbone. Maybe. No, wait. Let's do nose. Forehead. Cheekbone. Let's do a chin. I could keep it like this. I don't have to do more. Because the more I work on it, the more I'm going to make it bigger. I don't want to do that. All right. Perfect. Let's take all right. Let's highlight darken a little bit the side of the face. All right, that's good. I'm going to darken a little bit also where the eyes are, a little bit. I don't have to, but why not? If I can do it without messing it up. And let's shape the nose a bit because it looks like it's big and too straight. I'm just gonna curve it a bit right here from the side. Now I can add a little bit of white to the skin tone at this point. Highlight the forehead. Because the sun is really strong at this point. Nose, maybe the tip of the nose mostly, right there. Hint. And the cheekbone. a bit of the chin. That's it. We don't need to do more than that. So what I did is first dark, and then I highlighted the mid-tone, the forehead, nose, cheekbone, let it dry, and then I added more white to the skin tone, and I highlighted the forehead again, a bit of the nose, and the tip of the cheekbone. So what I have is I have right here, dark, medium right there, and light right here. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in more. Okay, so I need to, adjust all of this a bit in a minute. I'll adjust the color, the paint. But you can see, first we started with dark. We highlighted all over. We highlighted where the forehead is with mid-tone, not with light, mid-tone. We highlighted the forehead, part of the nose. We left where the eyes are, and we highlighted the cheekbone all the way down. We left where the nose is, the bottom of the nose. The bottom of the nose is darker, and it casts a shadow over the upper lip usually. I waited for it to dry. Then I added more white to the mid-tone, highlighted the forehead right here, part of the nose, just a little bit of a circle where the cheekbone is, because I want dark on the side, mid-tone down here, and higher right there, highlight right there, right under the eye, but not all the way down. You can see it looks like a circle, that highlight. And I'm going to highlight this again right there, just this right there. That's usually the cheekbone is highlighted more right here, and then the more you go down, the less highlight you have. Okay, so I need to right now take a little bit of skin tone with a bit of brown and just kind of give this here darker skin tone right there on the side, right here. Okay, good. Honestly, we don't need to do the dark, mid-tone, and highlight. We don't need to at this small, kind of really small size space. But if we can show a bit of this difference in values, it makes a difference. It looks nicer. I'm just adjusting the figure next to her. See if I can get this part to look a little bit better. I have a feeling I'm going to really mess it up.
It's amazing how many times you can do it and how it looks different every time.
Yes.
For me, thank goodness. I think I'm just gonna leave them as they are, and once I get the hair and the clothes on, then I'll worry about it.
Oh, I'm doing the same thing. I am messing it up.
Yeah.
That's fine. We just play around with it. See how it goes. Doing some negative painting right there for that person right here. And see how it goes. Usually upper lip is... I'm going to turn this around because I have to get the part. Usually, in these cases, the bigger the canvas, the better for stuff like this. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to pause. All right, let's work on the other faces. So we have the one in the front right there, and it's hidden as far. We have the dark. We're going to go to mid-tone. This one here, what we're going to do is put the forehead like this. This person is looking down at something, so we don't really need to do much. A hint of a nose, cheekbone, kind of like this. Nothing really, nothing much. Hint of a nose. And then I'm going to take the face down, in, kind of, from here, in. That's it. Let's take highlight the skin tone with white. Again, highlight the forehead and the cheekbone underneath the eye, and leave it. Maybe a little bit of the nose, tip of the nose, not the whole thing from up to here. Same with any nose. When we're doing highlighting a nose, the forehead is out, then it goes in, where the right between the eyes, it goes in, and then we highlight the tip of the nose, because the nose comes out. So you have between the eye a a slightly darker right here, slightly darker tone, value. I should say value. That's the way the skull is, right? So you do have a dip from between the eyes right here, a small dip in the skin. That's why it's slightly darker, and then the nose comes out, and this is where we highlight the tip of the nose, the bottom right here. We highlight it because it comes out again. Okay. This guy right here, I'm going to do this one here, and then we'll be good. This guy is looking sideways, so we don't see anything. We see mostly, and let's see, do this. Skin tone, medium tone. We're going to see part of his forehead, cheekbone out. I'm going to do mid-tone, so kind of not too highlighted. Bring it in. Again, we're not seeing eyes, nothing. He's looking this way, but I'm darkening a little bit this part. Mid-tone, kind of. Now underneath, you'll see in a minute. I'm going to go back to this. We're going to do his neck, and then we have a triangle right here that is darker. The underneath the chin, between his, underneath this chin, between the neck and the side of the face, there's a triangle right there that's dark. Okay, and then we'll do the hand. Same idea. It's kind of on an angle right there. I don't know what this person is doing, but it doesn't matter. I'm not doing detail. We don't need to do detail for the hand. This is drying a bit dark, but that's okay. The triangle that I have, that will allow me to adjust. I can see a tiny bit of his ear We don't need to do that, but yeah, why not? Let's go back to the hand, highlight it a bit. This one is holding a glass of wine. We'll put this later on, but that one here, I don't know what he's doing. Doesn't matter. Here we go. Okay. Let's see. I don't think we need to do anything else with this guy. In the reference, he's crossing his fingers like this. Yeah, it is way too much for this kind of small amount, like small space. So we did great. We don't need to do more than that. Next is going to be some hair, and we can move on to clothes. But for now, we can do some hair if we want. We'll use the burnt umber we have to give them some hint of some hair happening here. And we will highlight the hair in a minute. Just put this for now. General shape. This one here too.
Is burnt umber in that layer?
Yeah, just burnt umber. I'm just using burnt umber for now. I'm going to start highlighting. When I start highlighting the hair, I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use, to highlight the hair, yellow ochre with burnt umber and white. Okay, now to highlight the burnt umber, I'm going to use yellow ochre, mix it with burnt umber, and hopefully I will get a good highlight. Burnt umber, yellow ochre, and let's see. Again, we need a hint. And for her hair too. And we will put some more light color on this, lighter color. So this one here, let's say let's put a kind of more of a blondish hair on this one. Now I'm going to take white, add it to this mixture of burnt umber, yellow ochre, and burnt umber and yellow ochre. And then again, over the one that I did with burnt umber and yellow ochre, I'm just going to highlight a little bit more. one here more. Because I'm, you know, going more blonde in here. Just for change, so we don't have the same hair color. Okay. I'm not doing hair. I'm putting more like a values, blocks. I'm blocking the value in. That's it, just to show highlights. I can after glaze some brown on top. So, you know, if it starts to look kind of too blondish, and we don't want that, we can just glaze back the brown on once it's completely dry. Right, now let's highlight this guy's hair a bit. It's just kind of brown. If it starts to look, when you highlight, if it starts to look funny color, not really brown anymore, just wait for it to dry a bit and glaze back the brown on top. All right, this woman sitting with her head back right there. I'm going to make her head a little bit bigger. She's close to us, so naturally this part is going to be, her head is going to be bigger, and these two guys are kind of bigger than the ones in the back. And now I'm going to take white, put it with burnt umber, and I'm going to take a little bit of burnt sienna. Mix burnt sienna in there. So burnt sienna, burnt umber, white. Let's see what we're going to get. And let's highlight the side of her hair, because this is where the sun is coming from the right. It doesn't really matter if I'm going to add yellow ochre instead of white, and a bit of white now. Instead of just white, I'm going to add a bit of yellow ochre. Again, a little bit more white. Just the top of the head.
Burnt sienna, yellow ochre, and white.
Yes. Burnt sienna, yellow ochre, burnt umber. So I have burnt umber. I'm going to do it again. Burnt umber. I added burnt sienna and the burnt umber. So that I have kind of a reddish color.
Mm-hmm.
Yellow ochre. Let's take yellow ochre because I want to highlight, right? But I don't want to lose the kind of this beautiful, this, you know, when you add white to a color, it just sucks the intensity out of that color. So I just want to keep it kind of nice and brown, light brown. That's why I'm adding the yellow ochre, because I don't want it to look beige. Starting to look like the wall behind it. Highlight more, just to bring her forward against, you know, just kind of more white. Now, this, what we're doing right now, you see that it's really highlighted, but this is really dark. So I'm going to bring the value, not too much, just a tiny bit. So burnt umber, touch of the same highlights I was using. And I'm just going to put it here. And you see right away, this is kind of like brings the values closer to each other. Just the top. Don't bring it down. Don't bring it down here. Keep this dark. Just the top part. Okay. It will make sense once we put her, you know, put clothes on and, you know, all of that. Right now it looks funny. So white, usually when you're using white, it kind of sucks the chroma out of the color. So makes it faded. And so that's why I add yellow sometimes, like yellow ochre, just to kind of bring it back. Bring back the chroma, or, you know, make it a little bit less, to give it some interesting kind of depth to it. There we go. All right, that's enough for today. We did a lot. Okay.
We did a lot.
Yeah, we did. Okay, I'm gonna pause. All right, so today we managed to do all of the faces. Next week we'll start working on the rest, clothes, chairs, whatever we need to add. But for today, we finished the faces.